I'm here at Black Mesa in Oklahoma. The trail opens at dawn, so I'm gonna say close enough and get going. Well, the Highpointers bench here is also a memorial to Jean Trudale. Open dawn to dusk. Close enough to dawn. When you walk through the grass here, all these grasshoppers go crazy. Jeez, look at them all. This right here is where I got foiled last time I was here. In particular, that days over 90 degrees, the trail closed at 10 a.m. I don't know if today's actually going over 90, but I'm here well before 10 a.m., so I'm good. I was also able to replace the trekking poles that I broke on Kings Peak 3 days ago. Yesterday, I had to summit Elbert without any hiking poles, which certainly made it harder than it needed to be, but I was able to get these back with a stop on the way over here. After doing Kings and Elbert over the past 3 days, this feels like it's going to be a relaxing little hike. I saw in the logbook other people took about 4 hours to complete this, so that should be a nice change of pace for me. There's definitely a bit more spunk in my step today than yesterday. I think I might be getting what the thru hikers like to call trail legs. So 3 days ago, I went from Henry's Fork Trailhead up to the summit and back down to Dollar Lake. Then 2 days ago, I went from Dollar Lake down to the trailhead again. Yesterday, summited Elbert, and today's day 4. I don't know if that's enough to really get trail legs, but I definitely feel better than I did yesterday, no question. And the sun has finally made its way through those clouds that were blocking me from seeing it crest earlier. Wow, let me get really close. Trail gonna have mile marker benches. It's kind of cool. A little side here to some kind of display. So that's the one I've been seeing most of the trail so far. But I think we might be going to one of those ones behind. I see trails over there, but I'm just not sure exactly which way this one's headed. Clearly we're heading somewhere into this set of ridges. Bench for mile marker 2. I wonder if the slice in that mound up there is the trail I'm about to go on. We've got our next little display here. And next to this one is actually a water supply. Let's see. Oh, it's empty. Well, I've got plenty, so no worries. I'm about 2.5 miles in here, and it's been completely flat up to this point. But finally, we're going to start to gain some ground going up. Here's the view up on the mound. In the middle there, you can see the last display I was at. The path obviously cuts past that and then over to the right. And we've got the bench at mile 3 here. Here's the view from the bench. Some kind of fence here is near the ridgeline. I guess the cattle get this high. Well, up here on top of the mesa, it looks like it gets flat again. It just occurred to me that mesa means table in Spanish, so I'm just calling this really a table. So the climb up here is not bad at all. They do a pretty good job of grading the trails. There's not much incline. And then once you're up here, it's flat again. hard to even tell up here that I'm on a mesa, not just in some field, some big prairie. Pretty sure I can just make out the obelisk. Got the high point up ahead. And here we are at the high point, the final bench, and the obelisk. The elevation marker, not by USGS this time, is right by the base of the monument. Once again, the scouts make an appearance on one of my hikes. Not a high pointers bench, but a scout bench. Ooh, and we've got a guest book to sign here. This has some fun stuff in here. Apparently, Sherman the German was here. Gut gemacht, Sherman. Very nice. Someone's taking care of people here. I think the rock in this bush is the highest natural point. Maybe. Yeah, it's mobile. Who knows? While this is the generally accepted highest point, I believe there's some LiDAR data that actually puts the high point a little out there, probably along this path. So you can see if I can follow that over to it. So the first of the potential spots is over there in that field you see, but clearly that's lower than the high point. The second one appears to be this bush. Again, just by eyeball, lower than the high point. One is here, and it's lower than that bush still. I think this data is very good. The last point is right along this fence line, but pretty clear that the high point's higher. I think this data is just wrong completely. Confirming that the original high point is the high point. And that is Oklahoma's high point. Let's head back down. And the descent down from the mesa begins. Well, this path is so clear, and I'm wearing trail runners, so I think I'm going to trail run. This is a very runnable path. I've stopped in the shade of the last kiosk, and I'm actually gonna lighten my load because I'm enjoying this run. This is water that I'm not gonna need, so I'm just gonna dump it and see if I can run the rest of the way back. It's like 2.5 miles. That'll save me a bit of time. All right, dumped it all but this. Something's banging against my titanium bottle, giving me a nice little rhythm to run to. All right, made it back to the trailhead. Time to sign myself out and get out of here.